Con. All right. We are live. We are live. Call all Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. What is going on, gentlemen? What is going on? First and foremost, let's give our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai because we have made it to another feast day. It is a feast of first fruits. So all honor and all glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And may everyone enjoy themselves on this feast day. May they tune into the spiritual side of this feast day. Reach out to the Most High, seek His face, seek His kingdom 10 times more, and then take this opportunity to meditate on the Word. So we are salt. We are the saints advocating law and truth. So I just want to bring this out before we begin to let people know who we are, and this is what we be doing. So as you can see, I am Ikarab. I have a few other brothers with me. I have Yawar, Yasharala with us. We have Sa'ar with us. Sa'ar just want to be here live and in person, but he has a bunch of family with him, so it's all good. We don't see him, but it's the fact that he's here, and he wanted to hear this lesson. Shemaiah Wam is just getting on. So as he's coming aboard, we will be doing this. Yeah, I didn't even hear that. So with that being said, let us begin of what it is that we're going to be doing. All right. So a little introduction about who we are and what we're going through and what we're about. All right. So if you want, you can go ahead and read Matthew 5 and 13 first.
Con. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
So, ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savior, wherewith shall it be salted?
Mm-hmm.
It is thenceforth good for nothing,
Mm.
but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
So it's worth having some flavor. It's worth having some seasoning. It's worth it because we are the salt of the earth. Everything happens with us, about us. Everything we do, we put our own spin on it. It becomes better, right? Your food tastes better. Your style is better. Your speech is better. Man, everything that the Israelites has done has always been better, right? So let's slide on over to Mark. We're going to go to the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 49.
Con. And hold on, while we getting that, also when you look at the properties of salt, salt is a cleansing agent, it's a purification agent, and before in old times, before we had refrigerators, people would put salt in their food to actually preserve it.
That's right.
So not only are we meant to add flavor to everything on earth, but we also meant to preserve it as well.
That's right. That's right. So with that being said, it's all good. And that's what we're trying to say. Because salt, because we're the saints advocating law and truth, this is what we're going to try to be and we're going to try to do. Shalom, Brother Zephaniah, how are you?
Shalom, brothers.
Shalom.
Yes, sir. So we're just about to start this lesson, but we were actually right now, we're just bringing out to say on who we are and what we're about. So we just finished reading Matthew 5 and 13. Now we're just about to read Mark 9 and 49 through 50.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 49 through 50. It says, for everyone shall be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt.
Every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. And everything that we're doing is through that fire. So that's why we're trying to be more redefined. We're trying to be more pure, and everything, all of our sacrifices got to be salted with salt. So everything that we're trying to do for the Most High, we try to do it with that in mind. All right, go ahead, verse 50.
Salt is good, but if the salt have lost its saltness, wherewith will you season it?
Right.
Have salt in yourselves, and have peace with one with another.
Have salt in yourselves. Right? So before you even go on to what about the next person, have salt within yourselves. All right. And then it says, and have peace with one with another.
That's right. All praises. Okay? All praises.
All praises. One with another. So this is why our speech, our mannerisms, our everything, we try to do it with salt. Try to be at peace with one another.
Yes, sir.
Right? So if you guys
Yes,
have
sir.
something, because I'm about to bring this lesson out. So before we will even begin, if you guys have something you want to add or whatever, just say Salaki, then I can go ahead and stop in the middle of something. But we're going to go into what the first fruits is all about. We're going to discuss the physical side, which actually was in the scripture, what he said we should and should not be doing, how we should and should not be conducting ourselves. And then we're going to deal with the spiritual side of first fruits. This is how I see it as being, that we have it in so many different ways that we tend to forget. We get complacent in thinking that, well, I can't do this, so I'm just gonna leave it alone and keep it pushing. But that being said, we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep learning, keep studying, keep being better than what we were yesterday. So moving on, let's get that Psalms 119 and 142, and this will explain why.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
The law is the truth, and this is what we're standing on. It's the truth. So we're saints advocating law and truth. So we deal with the law, also deal with the truth. So we try to deal and combine and deal everything that we're supposed to do. We are trying to not only be the example, but we also try to do all that we can for each other. All right. Try to do something for the family. Try to do something for our community. Just try to be better. All right. What good is it that you sit here and you know all the scripts in the world, you know every verse in the back of your head, but if you're not telling it or sharing it,
that's right, brother.
All right. So
that's right. Absolutely.
Let's move on. Let's go ahead and get to what is first fruits. All right. So let's start out. Let's go ahead and get to Exodus 22 and 29. Anyone can read that if they want to. Just when you're ready to say Khan, if you want to read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 29.
It
says, thou shalt not delay to offer the first of the ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me.
Khan. So we know that it's something we're supposed to be doing. First fruits is something we are supposed to be doing. All right. First fruits is something that we're not supposed to come empty-handed. We're supposed to be bringing something. We're supposed to be doing something. We need to have something. It says, don't delay the offer of the ripe of your first fruits. We can't delay. We got to actually do it. We can't say, oh, I got to do it next week because something happened. Nope. We got to do what we're supposed to be doing. Also, it says, eat of your liquors. Most people won't even think about it. Everything that you are first starting to bring out, all your first, which is the best of everything, right? It's just your first. You're supposed to present that to the Most High. All right?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get the Deuteronomy 16:16.
This on that.
I'm going to go through 17.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 16.
Go ahead, read.
3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
We already know that 3 times a year we're supposed to present ourselves, but we're not supposed to come empty-handed. You have to come with something. You have to be able to present something. Look, my camera's all blurry. We have got to be able to present something. We have to have something. But let's see what else we're going to be able to bring. Read on.
Verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able.
Every man give as he's able. He's not saying much, but bring what you're supposed to bring, the best of, but what is able. Okay, go ahead.
According to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he have given thee.
So you know he gave you something. It's only but right to give him something back in return. He didn't ask for much. He just said, bring me back something that I was able to bless you with.
All praises. All praises. Yes.
He didn't say put the cow on your back and walk back to Jerusalem. He didn't say to do that.
That's right.
He's not get over righteous. He didn't say you take 15 oxen by yourself and you got to figure this out by yourself and how you're going to do it. No, he didn't say to do that either. We wanted to let's stay in order, but let's let's have some sense with it. Okay. Let's
All
go ahead and
praises.
slide on over to what I want to go to next. Leviticus. Everyone's favorite.
Which one? Leviticus 23.
So you know it. I want 23, and I want verses 10 through 14.
Salaki. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, and verse 10. It says, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them.
Oh, hold on. Slacky, 1 second, Zephaniah. Can you mute up right quick?
Oh no, if the brother want to read, then he can read.
You want to read,
Oh,
Zephaniah?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me, brother Shalaki. I didn't know you heard me.
Oh, we can hear you. Oh, we can hear you.
Nah, hey, I'll let the brother Zephaniah do that.
Zephaniah, you want to read it?
What? I would.
Go ahead. You got it.
Leviticus, chapter 10. I'm Shalaki.
23.
Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall keep and shall reap, Shalaki, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest.
Read on.
And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
Read on.
And ye shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf on Shalaki, an he lamb without blemish of the first year of the burnt offering unto the Lord.
Keep going.
And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savior. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin, Shalaki.
Done. Keep going. One more.
And ye shall eat thereof, Shalaki. You shall eat neither bread nor parched corn, nor green ears unto the self same day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
So now you see with Leviticus 23, it actually tells you what you are to do. What are you to bring? That's what it's telling you right there. We read from the different other scriptures. It says, don't come empty-handed. But Leviticus is actually telling you what you need to bring and what needs to be done. So this is where you go to actually find out how you're supposed to do it. All right. So now,
yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and slide on over to, I think I had to say it already. Let's start with, well, since I'm here, Numbers 18. And we're going to go to verse 12. And whoever has a con, and you may read.
Con. Numbers, chapter 18, verse 12. All the beasts of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them which they shall offer unto the Lord, them shall have them, Shalaki, them have I given thee.
That's right. So not only do you know how to do it, he tells you when to do it, and then he's telling you he wants the best. So he didn't just say, just come and just give me something. He said, I want the best of what you have. Is the Most High not worthy of you giving him back the best when he bless you?
Absolutely.
To have something?
Absolutely.
We got to think about that. Sometimes we got to put that in perspective. It's like, well, Most High, when you're back in church, when they tell you, bring me that 10th, bring me that offering, that 10th. But they try to tell you, bring me that 10th before you even get your taxes taken out. So we want that, what did it say? They want the gross. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said, now you bring that and you offer that amongst the other different offerings because they're going to play the music and make it real nice and good for you. So they can turn around and be like, you know what? We're gonna play a whole nother round of this and just keep going. Let's just feel the spirit move throughout this place because you're feeling like giving. This is the offering time. But with the Most High sitting and telling you, he said, just give me the best of what you got. Just bring me the best. He tells you what, but bring me the best of it. All right. Let's forget that. Let's go ahead and slide over to Proverbs 3 and 9.
Proverbs 3 and 9. All praises. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9. Good. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Yep.
Bind them.
You missed it. Proverbs 3:9. You're on the wrong one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Shalaki. Sorry.
No problem.
Shalaki, I'll go ahead and read it. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
It's, honor the Lord with thy substance and with thy first fruits of all thine increase.
So they say, now honor me with your substance, but I want the increase.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have how much, how, when, the best. The Most High is sharing with you what he wants. You don't give him what you want to give him. Give him what he asks of you. Let that sink in a little bit. He didn't say, give me what you want to give me. Because, you know, some of y'all be willing to give somebody, hey, man, that cow, they got one eye. I can give that up. That'd be a cool little sacrifice. I ain't going to miss that on that one. Or the one with all them spots on it that don't even look like it's right. That thing look kind of leprous over there. Let's go ahead and slide that one over there to him. He won't mind. You know, because I got the best of everything, but, you know, I got to keep that reputation. But if everybody say I got that leprous one, hey, most of I say don't do that. He said, give me the best of your increase. You know, your prized possession. He want that. All right. And give me verse 10. Read on. And then he slid off.
Salaki, I lost my place. I didn't want to turn because I had a precept.
I know.
So this verse 10, it says, so shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with the new wine.
So now he's showing you this. The reason why he said, give me the increase of this, and I'm gonna do this.
All praises.
So now you don't feel so bad. You shouldn't even feel guilty about saying, I gotta give him the best of what I got. That was my best one. But he said, but this is the reason. So thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst with new wine. He said, I'm gonna give you awesome. Because you not only were you obedient, but you gave me something that was the best. I can only make you be good about it, make you feel good for what you did. He says, you honor me, I'm gonna hook you up.
Hey,
that's a heck of a blessing. I'm gonna give you the best of what I got for him to turn and bless me in return with more than what I asked of or that I even gave in the beginning. Okay.
Hey, Salaki, so I wonder if that's why the Most High also blessed Jacob the way that he did, like with the sheep. Because of course the law always existed in some way, shape, or form, even before it was codified, like even before the Most High gave Moses those codified laws. Well, I'm wondering if that's another reason. It wasn't just because the Most High favored Jacob, it was also because Jacob kept the law, statutes, and commandments, and he at least knew to keep Pentecost. Because it would have been a reason for them to just dwell in, keep the Feast of Tabernacles. They was already dwelling in tents. They was already in booths. And the purpose for Passover was us coming out of Egypt and to commemorate what later what would be commemorated as the sacrifice that Christ made, and that being the Lord's Supper. So the only thing that we see evidence of being kept before that is the Feast of Pentecost, Feast of First Fruits. Because even didn't Cain and Abel have to go and present their best offerings before the Most High?
Sure did.
Right. And Cain was a keeper of, he was a tiller of the ground, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. He was a shepherd. So it's like, just
if you want then, was it the best?
No,
was
Cain
it?
Wasn't. Cain didn't give his best. Abel did.
That's right.
Abel got blessed.
That's right.
See what Cain got. Cain
Very
got
good.
covered.
That's exactly right. So then you had to sit back and be like, hey, it's worth it. It's truly worth it. Let me go ahead and get what I need to give him so that I can get something in return. But that's not the reason for doing it, is to get some return. But he said, I will take care of you. Because as we say, I'm good looking out.
Right.
He just want to see if you just be a Benny. Can you just do that? Right. Let's get Nehemiah 10 and 35. Have y'all probably can't even find that in your book. When's the last time you went there? Give me that. I'm trying to have my tabs all jacked up. I think I need to upgrade my my tabs in here. I lost so many pages, been torn out and split and ripped and torn. Can't find half of my stuff.
Oh, that's side B, brother. When you're feeding,
I know, right? And snatching out of your bag too dang on fast. That's why you're laughing at that, because they'll be like, man, what is going on with that? Because I lost so many of them. I'm like, I can't even find half my stuff. So
you said Nehemiah 10 and 35?
Yes, sir.
All right. It says, and to bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruits of all the fruit trees. Oh, Salaki. It says, and to bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruits of all fruit of all trees year by year unto the house of the Lord.
Year by year. Right? Why do you think that? What's significant about that?
Year to the Levites, isn't it?
To
also make sure like the Levites would have something as well, right?
But you notice that it says which ones? He said the first fruits are your ground and the first fruits of all the fruit of your trees. Right? Year by year, because we know our fruit supposed to bear, and most of them want to bear at a certain time and a certain season. So now we know a lot of our fruit do drop or getting ripened or whatever the case may be at a certain season, year by year. So he's like, you can't come up with some excuse and say, oh, it's at this time and next year is gonna be a different time of season. Well, I don't have no fruit this year because this tree didn't bear anything. Nope. He said, now I want all of it. So he showed you when, where, how much, how to do it, the best of it. He wanted the plenty of it and where it should be coming from. The first fruits is out of your ground, right? And in your trees. So you don't have really no excuse because we were agriculture kind of people, right?
Right.
So, sure.
Salaki though.
Yep.
In my defense, our parents just ain't came yet.
I know, right?
Like our parents bear fruit every year. They haven't come yet.
Right. So then you be looking to see like, what can I bring? But think about it. The world is jacked up right now. We know it is. We know things ain't where it's supposed to be. We know the weather sucks. We know they chemtrailing everything. Things are falling from the sky, poisoning our plants and everything else. Things are dormant. Some seeds don't even reproduce. You have some things that would just make no sense, right? Sometimes you can sit back, like my figs, right? They got damaged from the cold snap that the tops of them just didn't even produce anything. They didn't grow no leaves. So I guess you can say the branches and everything else had to find another way to come out. So then I would be able to sit back and be like, it ain't bearing anything because it didn't even produce leaves until we would have said, like now, just like a few weeks ago, it's like, I'm just not getting my first leaves to come on mine. And it should have been here beginning of the month. Stuff like that always going to happen. But this is when he knows, he's like, look here, man, I know what's going on. You don't think the Most High knows what's going on? He's sitting there saying, I understand. I got you. But you do know what you can still bring. Because we already heard, he said you still got to bring the oil. He said you still going to bring the cattle. He said, so if you just say, oh, all I got is fruits, you better sell something, go buy something, and go bring it to him.
That's right.
Because he said, do not come empty. He's you have no excuse, right? You gotta
That's
come.
right, yes, sir.
And thanks for reminding me. He don't want you to come empty. You gotta bring something. But he said at this time, this was to see if you even gonna listen. Bring something. You gotta do something. That means you have to be planning ahead. You have to be tilling the soil. You have to be doing some husbandry. You have to be working. Why? It's because why are you going hungry? Why is anyone in the nation going hungry? Everyone should be planting. Everyone should be doing. We should not have anyone saying, I am in need of anything. Right? He said, yes, so you bring it to my storehouses. Why do we need to bring it to the storehouses? Besides him giving back to you, he says, so that everyone can enjoy it. Everyone will be able to enjoy this thing. Every other nation right now is saying that you got people that you can't even plant on your own balcony. You can't grow your own food. They want to outlaw that. Why is it that you can't plant trees on the side of the road along the medians? But now if you look, every time they make an on-ramp, an off-ramp, they tear all the trees down and put up bushes. Mm-hmm. Why you just don't put fruit trees? So instead of having people on the side of the road panhandling saying, I'm hungry, please give me some money so I can eat, fill up all those.
Yes.
All the off-ramps, all the on-ramps, all the medians with fruit trees. They hungry, they can go out there, pick them some food.
All praises. All praises.
Give them some food. Why they want to do that? Because everybody want to think about themselves. They want to think about their own selves, money. Everyone's corrupt. And we want to be like them because we thought that was how you make it. This is how we supposed to make things happen. And it's not. It hasn't helped anybody. But that's just one example. But he said, I just want you just to do this and do it for each other. So that's how we go all the way back full circle. Love one another. So you're not going to sit there and think about yourself. You think about the next person. I'm not just going to grow 5 trees. This is plenty for me. Mm-hmm. One tree can produce how many trees just from the seeds alone? You should have a ton. Your land should be full. You should have land of grass so you can feed your cattle. You should have tons of open fields just so you can reap the harvest after you till the soil from all your foods that you planted from the year before, right? But now they're telling you, nope. Why would we do that? Why would we care about the next person? All your food's in the grocery store. Now it has GMO. Now it has chemicals. Mm-hmm. Now you are limited. Now you have the Santos, wherever his evil name is, who's sitting there limiting that now your seeds can't even reproduce. So you have to keep going and buying from him just to keep buying seeds that will never reproduce the next season. So you got to keep going to him for seeds. Like, okay, you got to think about that. That's off as all get out.
Well, Salakia.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, Solomon taught us in Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2 that when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn.
Yep.
And when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And that shows the difference between Jake versus Esau. Because when Esau's in power, you got nothing but war and bloodshed. Since that's his blessing anyways, that's his playground. You got war and bloodshed. And it's not just war in a physical sense. You got chemical warfare, you got spiritual warfare, you got biological warfare, you got all of these different types of warfare that Esau excels in. And that's just him it's Esau being Esau.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
John, it is. It truly is. And we just got to deal with it, right?
God.
That's all we can do. So now let's get into the spiritual side of everything. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? Because we already know we went off, because if everything was to be done, decency and order, and we were to be keeping these laws where we're supposed to, we wouldn't be where we are today and doing what we're doing now. We wouldn't be sitting here trying to figure out how can I grow anything. We were more worried about growing weed than anything else. How is that going to feed you when you're hungry? People are not thinking about this stuff. But you ask any other person in the streets, have you ever grown anything? And they're like, nope. At all. They have no clue. But let's see what the spiritual side of first fruits is. Let's see what all it means and what we should be focusing on now. So let's get that 1 Corinthians 15 and 20. Anybody want it?
Book of 1 Corinthians 15 and 20.
Oh, he fast.
It says, "But now is Christ risen from the dead, and become the first fruits of them that slept."
That's it. But how does that make you feel about that? He is the first fruit, right? He is risen from the dead, and he became the first fruits of them that slept. He's that first fruit. So is it over now? Just because he's the first fruit? I don't think so. So let's see. What James 1 and 18 says. Just can't beat that. I'm gonna beat him on this one. But again, I got it. 1 and 18.
It's the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 18. It says, "Of his own will beget he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures."
Of his own will begat he us in the word of truth, that we should be the first. We're that kind of first fruits. So he's the first fruits from being raised from the dead. Now we're the first fruits from after following him, right? We should be first fruits.
Okay.
We should. So if we got to be first fruits, then that means we had to have done something. Someone had to grow us, right? Someone had to plant a seed within us so that we can become that first fruit, the best of what it is and he wants to have. Because remember, he wants you to bring the best and got to be plentiful of what he wants. So if this is the first fruit that we're supposed to be, so we got to be the best, we got to be plentiful, and it's of what he wants. So grab Matthew 7 and 15 right quick when I bring this out, because we have to understand that we are to bear good fruits. This is what we're supposed to be doing. So we got to be good fruit ourselves so we can be the first fruit. And then we also, if we're good, we got to actually bear more fruit. We can't like be like Monsanto's and everything else who just, you got seed, you plant it, it grows fruit, and that's it. It doesn't even reproduce itself. No, we're supposed to be able to reproduce ourselves to the next generation or to the next brother or sister. All right? Matthew 7:15 through 20.
Matthew 7:15 through 20.
Lucky.
Sir.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 15.
Run it.
Because of false prophets which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves.
He said, yep, you got to be aware of them. Keep going.
You shall know them by their fruits.
You should know them because someone's going to show you their true selves by the way they're bearing their fruits. This is how you're going to identify somebody. The fruit that they produce. What's going to come from them? Keep going.
Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
There you go.
A good
tree right there. He's saying, hey, it's one or the other. Right? Keep going.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them.
By their fruits. So he's saying, if you bad fruit, I mean, think about it. Hey, what happened to that one fig tree that didn't produce and give him a fig when Christ was walking? He cursed that bad boy. So you ain't better do nothing. What do you think it's going to do to people who's in being wicked, who's evil, who's off, who is not producing the good fruit? He said, because your fruit is bearing wickedness and off, where'd it come from? It must be you. You must be the problem. So then you can start to go backwards in that and be like, so if that came if that is a progenitor of you, then where'd you come from? Let me go see who bared you. We can cut that off early and get rid of it, right? I said, but where and how did we even start all this? Where and how did we start? So let's slide over to chapter 13. And we're going to go to verse 18. And we're going to slide all the way through verse 23.
Matthew chapter 13.
No, you go ahead.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Hear ye therefore the parable of the power of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh to the wicked, Salaki, then cometh the wicked one and casteth away that which was sown in the heart, in his heart, Salaki. This is bewitched, Salaki. This is he which receiveth seed by the wayside. But he that receiveth the seed unto stone, so Salaki, but he that receiveth the seed into stony place, the same is he that heareth the word, and among with joy receiveth it.
God, I'm gonna stop right there because that's not the verse I wanted, but it's still good though. I wanted verse chapter 13 and verse 30. I'm Salaki. Jeez. I want that one, but I want you to do this right here. I want you to keep reading that because I want to keep going.
Yes, sir.
That is a good point. But I'm gonna say this right here though. So we made it so far to get to this point, right? Are we actually gonna bear the fruit ourselves? Okay, so we got to see like how this even get to this point, right? So what does that even look like? So when you read this, we need to take into account. So we made it this far to know, all right, how are we going to do it? Christ is the one who's the first fruit, and we will be emulating him being that first fruit. So, all right, so let's keep going with that. So let's see, and what does that look like? Keep reading. And that's actually what that's perfect. Go ahead.
Salaki, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 22. He also that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the
deceitfulness.
Thank you, Shalaki. Deceitfulness. Shalaki. I'm reading with using one hand. I'm stuck using one hand.
Oh man, you gotta use your feet too.
And the deceitfulness of riches choke the world. Choke the word. And he becometh unfruitful.
He becomes unfruitful. Okay, keep going.
But he that receiveth seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth some some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
So you actually got to be able to bear something. You got to bring something out. You got to bring something back for him. Just because you were planting, you grew up, you supposed to give something. You're supposed to be producing yourself. So we see that if you didn't even take root, you might be there for a little while, but persecution arises. Some things come through, and now you're offended. Now you ain't take root at all. You still ain't bearing no good fruit. Someone can hear that word and be good, and all of a sudden you go through some hard times, and now you become unfruitful. What happened? A little bit of hardship, and now you can't take it no more. So a lot of times that when he said we're supposed to be that seed, because someone do, plant that seed in us, and we say, all right, we good now. We all on fire. We want this. And depends on how we fell into some good ground, stony ground, thorns. It could be all kind of stuff, right? So we gotta have an understanding. So sometimes we get too comfortable in our position. Sometimes we get too comfortable in our own ways. We get comfortable in our hearts and how we move in this truth. We get real comfortable. Sometimes you get too comfortable. Sometimes you're not challenged. Yep. Oh, I thought I heard somebody say something. Because we get to the point where just because you get a little animosity and everything, what happened? Just because you get a little tight, it's a little squeeze on something that you thought was supposed to happen, and things start to change. What happened? Is your faith wavering now? Are you bothered? Or I ain't in the truth no more? Because we hear that now. We hear people saying that all the time. Oh, I used to be in that cult. I used to be in that truth. I used to be. How you used to be an Israelite? How you used to be something you was born into? How do you used to be something that is a God-given gift to you that says, this is what you naturally are? Everyone else wants to convert to be like us, but don't want to be us. But we, who we are, don't want to be who we are. We want to be like them.
Salaki, that's awesome, that's awesome, brother.
Make that make sense for me, because I ain't figured that out yet. Because why are we sitting here struggling with who we are? All we had to do is open this book, but I understand someone might have planted a seed and it didn't fall into some good ground. So now we bugged the hell out. We're tripping. All it took was someone else to come around and say, like, oh, you should be wearing this Ankh on your shirt. You need to be wearing that. Did you know that you were Egyptian? Did you know that these people ruled over you? Did you know you're the first black person was born over here on this side of the world? And it's like, bro, okay. That your seed fell onto some wayward ground. All right. So slide over to verse 31. Because we keep forgetting that, or I wouldn't say we forget. We stop caring. We expected too much. We hoped and wished and dreamed, and we thought it was going to be awesome all the time without any kind of anything. We know there's a bunch of precepts we can just pull out just to say everything, but we're trying to stick on the fact of the matter is you're supposed to be bearing fruit. But you can't bear any fruit. You can't get to that point unless you are rooted. A lot of us not rooted. A lot of us say we are. That's what we call that perpetrating. We say, we claim it. Until you get checked. What do you are now? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Most I know what he's doing. He's a genius to this thing. But go ahead, read. Verse 31.
Lucky. Verse 31. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field.
Read on.
Which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs and becometh a tree. So that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof.
See, some of us really just growing, and we actually just weeds. Some people are growing and they some vines. Some people just growing. You're just a little. I don't even know what it. What do you want to say, y'all? When you grow something that it is short and stout, miniature, or it ain't really. I don't know. What would you say, Al?
I guess it's a dwarf.
Like, that's good.
You just a dwarf. You almost, but not quite. Let's get Ezekiel.
I want to say like the plants that be smaller than, I guess what the original would be, they are considered dwarves or something like that.
Yeah, they consider dwarf.
Like the small watermelons versus the super big watermelons. You got the ones that's like the little kid basketballs.
Oh, those are the ones that's between seeds and seedless. That's the different shapes of them. But we talking about like something epic. That's like when you try to get apple tree or a lemon tree, and then they say, "Oh, you got dwarfs," because they cross them with something else that grows short. So now, because you got to get a ladder, you're gonna climb and shimmy yourself up there, and to pick this apple, now you just go outside and just reach and snatch him right on off because he only grew 8 feet tall, if that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because people got lazy.
Get an apple. I mean, get a ladder and climb up there to get that. No, see, in the country, we don't do that. We take a stick and we throw the stick up there.
Okay, but it's tall, it's big, right? Yeah. That's your stature. You're supposed to be big and tall and produce something wonderful, right? Not no ground cover. That's not what you're supposed to be like, right? You're not supposed to be a dwarf. That someone's like, oh, look at him, he's so precious. He was so close. You know, he just need a little bit more fertilizer. He could have been something special. Hey, well, at least you are a dwarf in something. At least you're producing something. I hope you are producing, right? So, but now check this. Good. Let's get Ezekiel 17 and 22. Oh, right there. Oh, crazy. There we go.
Shalom.
We are getting the book of Ezekiel, chapter 17. And it's all good, man. Crowd the screen up. Hey, the more the merrier. If we can have all the like 1,000 bunch of tiny squares, that's fine. I don't care. But Brother Benaiah, everybody's in the building. Brother Benaiah.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Long time no see. Get used to seeing me again.
That's right.
Shalom,
brother.
Shalom, kings.
Where in Ezekiel 17 you wanted to go?
17, we're gonna get verse 22 through 24.
Got you. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 17 and verse 22. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, I will also take of the highest branch of the high cedar, and will set it. I will crop off from the top of his young twigs a tender one, and will plant it upon a high mountain and eminent. In the mountain of the height of Israel will I plant it. It shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit, and be a goodly cedar. And under it shall dwell all fowl of every wing. In the shadow of the branches thereof shall they dwell. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree, have exalted the low tree, have dried up the green tree, and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, the Lord, have spoken and have done it."
There you go. Goal. You want to be a big tree. You want to be something special. You don't want to sit here and be nothing of the most I want to deal with. You're supposed to be producing some wonderful fruit. But the thing is, he said, I'm going to bring up who I want to bring up. I'm going to tear down who I want to tear down. But if you're not doing anything, you're not producing anything, and you didn't even fall into some good ground, he's going to chop you up and throw you in the fire, because that's all you good for, firewood. Right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Salakia.
Yep.
So that kind of reminds me of like what happened with Saul and David. So Saul at first was that big tree because he was a king. He was the head. He was the HNIC, the head brother in charge, or head in charge, whatever. However you want to say it. So then the Most High removed him and brought up a twig, a small brother, a young brother,
right,
like David, and raised him up and made him really, arguably, one of the greatest kings Israel has ever had. You know?
That's right. He controls everything.
And then out of that Salaki.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, and then out of that high tree, he established a dynasty, a Davidic dynasty of kings. And while some of them weren't necessarily good, it was still a line. Like, ain't too many brothers can actually say that they had their own line that the Most High just chose to, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Chose to set them up.
That's right. I like that. So that's why, because we're not supposed to forget the purpose and the meaning of the whole point of the first fruits and what we need to be doing, how we need to do it. And so we need to figure out, what does the Most High require of thee as well. So we be sitting here, we be thinking, like, man, I can go ahead and just, first of all, I can just give what I want to give. No. I can just do and just, he knows my heart.
Yeah.
Nah. Well, you know what? He knows I'm going through something right now, so we good. We got a relationship, you know, we cool like that. Right. So let's get Psalms 51, verse 16. Let's see what he requires of us. What does he want? Because if we don't sit here and think about it and fear the Most High and understand what he wants, why would he accept you? That's like you going to a car dealership. You ordered your car online. Let's say you actually did that. You like how Carvana was. They say, "Oh, you can just order your car, and we'll deliver it to you." And let's say you did that. I ordered me a car. I got all the bells and whistles on it. I got my color, my interior, everything I want, right? And it gets delivered. First of all, it's not the car, nor the color, nor the inside, nor the engine. Nothing he want. You definitely want to accept that, right? Nope. You like, take it back. Okay, they actually come back with the car that he wants, that you want. It's the car with the wrong color. Would you still accept it? Some of y'all would, because you're like, well, I got that engine in it. It ain't the color I want, but let that color come back something that you hate. Nope, send it back. All right, you got the color. You got the car, you got the color. But now you got a 4-cylinder when you really wanted that V8 turbo. You can be like, oh, she look good though, boy, with the Lambo doors and everything. But you got a 4-banger in there. You're like, no, send it back. Okay. You got the car. You got the color. All right. Now you got the engine. But you get inside the interior and it's cloth, and on top of that, it didn't have the sunroof, don't have a radio, AC half-ass work, okay? But it's a stick shift. You be like, hold on a second. Y'all playing with me at this point. You can have an attitude. You're like, you're not taking me seriously right now. You playing with me. I want what I want. I ordered what I ordered. Why you keep coming back with me half-ass of what I asked of you? And they be like, okay. I'm going to come back with everything you want. Okay? Because you know yours is that limited edition. That's the one you asked for. It's limited. Not everybody got it. I guess you can say it's almost like the Maybach. Well, it's custom made. It's handmade by people. It's exactly how it was supposed to be, because the way you put your money in, you bought every single thing, the stitching, the everything, the carpet, the smell, everything. And it gets to you. It's everything you want. Everything. It looks good, smells good, you sit in it. You're like, man, this is it. I finally got it. You pop the hood to make sure you got the engine you wanted. It's everything you wanted. And they're like, you good? You be like, yeah, I'm good. You good? You sure? Everything is what you want? Yeah. Cool. They leave, they walk away, they hit the road. You get in, you're like, ooh, I'm so excited. Get the keys out, and you stick it in the ignition, and you turn it, and it runs. It runs. And then you put it in reverse. You ready to ride out, and clunk. Down you. You got a damn lemon. You can be like, hold up. And they already down the road gone. You don't think you be kind of PO that you went through all that? He said, I want everything I want. And you still brought me a lemon? And you think you accept that? Why would the Most High accept you any other kind of way? Why would you bring him third place? Why would you half-ass say, hey, man, you gonna get what I want to give you, and he gonna accept you? And he be like, he meant well. That Benaiah guy, he meant well. He tried. It's okay. But you turn right around and say, Lord, I need all this in my life. But he's like, hold on a second. But all I asked of you was give me the best of you. But you want me to give the best of everything you desire.
So, Lucky, that's good, sir.
Okay? Man. You got me tripping. Give me that Psalm 51 right here, though. Verse 16 and 17.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 51, and verse 16 and 17. It says, For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. Mm-hmm. Thou delightest not in burnt offering.
Hold up, time out. Hold on. But in the beginning, we saw that he wanted all these sacrifices. We just read that. Bring me all your sacrifices. Bring me the best sacrifices that you can bring me. Bring it here. I want it to look like this. I want it to smell like this. I want it to taste like this. I want it to be fried up like this. I wanted the right seasoning on this thing. But what did he just say right here? Read it again.
For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it.
Uh-huh.
Thou delightest not in burnt offering.
Okay, keep going.
The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise.
He wants that. He wants that. He wants you to try. Bring it. You can bring a sacrifice when you know how wicked you are. You're gonna bring that one-eyed cow, that three-legged lamb. You're gonna bring that. You're gonna sit there and be like, here you go. You're gonna bring that dove. That's really not a dove, it's a duck. You're just gonna make it look like one. You're not gonna really try. He said you're gonna bring a sacrifice. He said, you can bring me that all day long. But he really wants something from us. He really wants something more than just something else to give. He said, we can give him something else. We can always say, here, take this, take that. But he wants something that is harder to give. Give me something weightier, something that has more substance behind it, right? He wants you to be not the same person that you were before. You can't be the same man. He wants, as you heard, you can't be a new man with the same old nigga mentality. You can't put new wine in new wineskin. You can, that's what you're supposed to do, but you can't put new wine in old wineskin. Right. It don't jive. It don't match up. How can you be the same person that you were a couple years ago in this truth and then still act, still talk, still do the things that you were to do? As soon as conflict comes your way, you revert back to who you were. You have a Hebrew name, but you have a nigga attitude. Mm-hmm. You have a Hebrew name, but your way of life that you conduct yourself is still as a slave mentality. You might have a new name. You might be wearing fringes. You might be having zits on. But just because someone coming you sideways, step on your Jordans, come across you, touch your chair, get in your face, talk to your woman, whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden now you're no longer a Hebrew Israelite. you him upstairs who's coming downstairs to put hands on you. Wait, what happened? What changed? A little bit of turmoil, a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. Were you truly rooted in this thing? Because if you're a rooted tree and you're big and you're a big cedar, you can have winds, you can have damn near floods, you can have rain, you can have all kind of stuff, and that tree ain't gonna move. But we all know that ain't happening no time soon. Because we know. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sometimes when brothers get into it, not even just brothers, but when Israel get into it in different situations, you make it real easy to see where your roots are or where your roots started at. Because if you had strong roots, you might bend, but you don't break. Right. You know what I'm saying? Those roots are going to keep you solid in the ground. Everybody that knows anything about planting any type of tree, any fruit trees, you plant it in a place, you want it to be planted in a place where those roots can take hold and be strong. That's where you want to plant it. That's the optimal place. And a lot of times when y'all go through turmoil, you show where your roots were planted at. They weren't planted in a solid place. It was planted on rocky ground. That means you didn't take the time to till your soil and get yourself right before you got, well, not even before, but as you started to grow in this, you should have started tilling your soil. You should have started changing your heart. You should have started changing your mind frame. If you didn't do that, that seed that was planted in you, it fell on rocky soil. And we get to see where your roots are. A lot of times the people that's around you, the biggest turmoil you have with those people around you is because they know where your roots is planted, and they know exactly how to test it and where to clip you at. Yep. If you don't learn how to be patient in this, and you don't learn how to grow to a point where you're not looking at everybody else, but you're going and seeking the word. Every time something happens, you should be going into the word. If you're not doing that, you're going to break. And it's going to be easy. And then the people that are rooted in it, they really know what they're doing. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, well, hey, like we always say, 2/3, and then we walk away.
Right.
Shalaki.
Right.
Being that you said that, I think about it brings me back to Brother David. Apostle Paul. When Apostle Paul was, am I doing something wrong?
No,
his camera is doing something.
My camera being a demon.
Yeah,
it's so blurry.
Before Apostle Paul was converted, Paul was converted, he was doing these things with an attitude. He didn't understand the grace of the Most High, so he would beat him. He would put him in jail. He would, do all kinds of things. And Paul thought what he was doing was right. It was righteous until the Most High God knocked him off his high horse. Oftentimes, that's what we need to happen to us, man. We need to get knocked off our high horse, and so that we can see and understand and know that this is not how this is done. It's done this way. The Most High God converted Apostle Paul and changed him. He began to do the will of the Most High God with the sound authority and a purpose. But he was humble. He had humility, and we need to put on our code of humility when these things happen, and these things take place, and not be so readily, to latch out at someone. That's why the words say, "Be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and even slow to wrath."
You ain't never lied on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what the Most High also wants, because we know He wants a contrite spirit. So let's get this in 1 Samuel 15:22, and we wrap it up on this.
He want that obedience over sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Boy.
Absolutely.
Boy. That's how it's supposed to be.
This is the book of First Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. It says, and Samuel said, "Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice,
absolutely,
and to hearken than the fat of rams."
He wants you to listen, man. He wants you to do it. He wants you to actually do it. Just do it. Obey. That's why he said, I gave you these laws and regulations and everything. I want to see if you're going to obey them. Bro, this is what he wants. It's the same thing you always said we want for our children. I want the best for my children. All I want for my children is to have it better than I have. I am willing to do all this I can for my children, but all I need you to do is listen to me. And I'll give you the world. We say it all the time. But why is when the Most High said, we were like, Now this where my controller? This is what we're doing. Right here. When the Most High be talking to us, we be doing it right here. All right. We be sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah. What you say? You need what? Yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. Hold on. You need ram? Some sheep? Okay, hold on. Can I get to it after I'm finished doing this level? After I level up? Hold on. I'm coming. Hold on. I'm coming.
Not you got the PlayStation controller upside down too.
That's how they be doing it.
That's good, sir.
That's how you do it, bro. That's how you do it. That's how we treat the Most High. He said, I need you to do this right here. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. Yep. This how it is. You know, you be watching TV like, or you be here with the remote. You be like, yeah, hold on a second, hold on. I'm watching this video right quick. You know how it was when you watching your MTV raps way back in the day and everything, be watching TV and stuff. You be like, hold on. You know you can't pause this. You gotta watch the video. Hold on, it's a world premiere. Hold on a second. I need you to go do something right now. Hold on, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see y'all tell the Most High wait. Go tell him you said I said wait.
You know Israel would do it.
What would you tell your parents? Hey, Benai, I know you came from a strict family. They serious about what they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you told your dad, whenever he asked you of anything, and you told him, I get to it when I feel like it?
Oh, that ain't never happened, sir. That
never happened.
I was just wondering. Zephaniah, you have a son. When was the last time your son said, I don't care what you say. I ain't gonna do anything.
Never.
Yahweh, you have a young son. You have a little one.
Don't ask me about that terrorist. I'm just playing.
How would you feel if your son walk around and you tell him, hey son, I told you to pick these toys up. He look at you like this.
He do not be having to jack his little butt up.
You see what I'm saying? Why is it we treat the Most High like that? Why is it that we treat Yahushua like that when he says, this is what I need you to do so that you can have a better life? I need you to do this. Don't listen to them. Don't go that way. Do this. Please don't do that. And we'll be good to go. Why we keep doing that?
To your point.
Go ahead.
It be those moments, and when I think about like my son doing something, as I done told him like 1,000 times not to, that it be times when I'm gonna like pop him on his leg or whatever, that I refrain from doing it, because then I'd be like, I've been you. As an adult, I've been you to my father and to my big brother. So I'm gonna give you a ghetto pass this time. But if he continues on and he got to do something to hurt himself, like earlier I had to get on to him because he was trying to flip off the couch. And it was like, bro, you don't realize what you're doing. You're gonna really hurt yourself. And if you fall wrong, then that's on us. And it's really on me because I saw you doing it and I didn't stop you.
But you had to learn though. Because sometimes, hey, the best way to learn, you gotta go through it. Most time I put you through some things. He said, hey, right, you don't listen. He give you that grace and mercy. He said, you'll figure it out. You'll be back. This is what he do. The most I sit back like this and be waiting.
That's right.
Oh, did you call my name again? What was that? Oh, you sorry. Oh, you won't let that ever happen again? You won't drink that much again? Because I hear you calling on Earl, but you ain't calling my name. Oh, now you're calling my name because Earl ain't hearing you no more. Oh, okay.
Right,
You said, oh, what was that promise you said? You would never, ever, 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 ever do that again. Okay. And then he turned to look at Yahweh. He's like, hey, give him next week. He'll be right back doing this again. And then he called me again. Oh, Lord, save me. I drank too much. He's like, you don't get tired of your stuff, man. See, it's one thing if it's innocence and you're trying and you make mistakes. But if you really just don't care and you're just doing it because you're just going to do it and you feel as though, oh, he got me. He got my back. I'm good. Let's think about this. If you was immortal, would you really care about what the Most High says? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. So, therefore, that's why he said you ain't immortal. Because if you die, there is no coming back. There is no up, down, left, right, BA start. There is none of that. You do not have 30 lives.
That's right.
You don't have that. There is no cheat code. You got one chance. You screw it up, and I'm going to sit there looking at you like, you know you messed up, right? You know you messed up. So with that being said, hey, thank you all for getting on here for the Feast of First Fruits. We went over the physical. We went over the spiritual. We sat here and we brought out some pretty good scripts showing not what the Most High wanted, because that's not the only thing. You go ahead, sit over. But it's not just what he wanted. It's not just how he wanted it. He said, but what he really wants, he says he wants you. He said, you can give me all the animals in the world, and I created so many of them, but that's not what I want. I want you. I want you to do something for me. I want you to be the best you for me. I want you to do, give me everything I want you to do because I asked you to. That's what I want. I want the best. So, give him the best. Start giving a half-ass version of you. Why are you giving the watered-down version of you? He said, if I want the best of the best, why you give me all this ice? I didn't ask for all this ice in my... Give me... I want straight. Why are you giving me the watered-down version? I didn't ask for that. I want a season. So what we're going to do as being salt, we're going to season everything we're doing. What we want. We're going to sit here and actually listen. We're actually going to do what the commandments is actually saying that we're supposed to be doing. And we're going to put some salt on it. We're going to give them the best. We're going to do it. Right? And that's how we're supposed to do it. This actually the Bible says. The Bible says thus and thus. All right, well, let's do that.
All praises.
So we can get up out of here. Because if it ain't for me, maybe for our child. If it ain't for him, maybe for his child. So let's get and teach them the way it's supposed to be taught. Instead of saying, let's be like them, who is destroying the world in this earth right now. And maybe there's a chance. So with that being said, gentlemen, I do appreciate it. You don't gotta go nowhere. You don't have to go nowhere.
So Slacky, can I get one precept to what you said just now about we was talking about the kids, and you gonna have to do it, make them do it again.
Yeah.
Proverbs 19 and 19. A man of great I'm gonna start with 18.
Okay.
Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crime. Verse 19, a man of great wrath shall suffer punishment, for if thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again. If you don't take the time, just like we have to put stuff into our children to make sure that they grow right. If you don't take the time to develop yourself and grow right, you're gonna have to constantly come back and start over again and again. If you were a man of wrath, like it says, no matter what happens, you can cry all you want, you can ask for it all you want to, but if you don't change your spirit, you don't change your mindset,
all praises.
You're going to have to go back to the beginning. It's nothing you can do about it. You have to go back to the beginning. That's all I wanted. I was reading it, and then it just matched up perfectly with what you said, and I had to say something. I'm sorry.
God. like that. Anybody else want to add and say anything before we close out? No? You held your peace? All right.
It is our heart's prayer and desire to Israel. No, I was just going to, let me grab that scripture for real. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. Those that know, that's an insider. And anybody else who see this video that know, if you know, you know. This is Romans 10 and 1. It says, "Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved."
Come on. There's a heart's desire for Israel always, that they can be saved. I hope they can be saved. But at the same time, some of y'all gotta get knocked off, man, because y'all playing too much. Y'all playing too much. Let's quit playing. Let's do it right. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it right. Let's get over this. Let's move on. Let's learn. Let's grow. We can teach and learn. We can develop, but learn. Let's try, but learn. Let us fail, get up, learn, and keep going. Okay? Keep going.
Salaki, before we close out, I like to share this verse in scripture. It's Psalms 91.
Go ahead.
Verse 1.
Bring it out.
And it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty."
There it is.
And this is where we ought to be. We ought to be in the secret place of the Most High. What is that secret place? His presence. Being in His presence at all times. Because if we're in the presence of the Most High at all times, you know, we shouldn't have to. We would have all these other things to take us or distract us from our course that we're on. And I believe that. And this is where I desire to be. I desire to be in His presence. I desire to be in the place where He willed me to be, doing what He want me to do. This is why in my prayers I ask Him to separate my thoughts and my ideas according to His plan and His purpose for my life.
Done. I love it. I'm closing out. All right, here we go. Check this out. Deuteronomy 6 and 4, and I'm going down. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as fronted between the eyes. Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. All honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, because without Him, we are finished. Because our enemies are going to continuously drag us, beat us, kill us, do everything they want to do to us. But our praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, His Son, who died for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, is coming back to save us, to redeem us, to bring us home. Death to all the enemies of the Most High. We all know who they are. We don't got to say them no more, because all y'all going to do is argue about it anyway. You know who you are. And with that, I'm just going to say shalom. Y'all don't got to go nowhere, but shalom, doggies.
Shalom.
Shalom.